Hey everyone, Faber here, and today I'm going to show some tips and tricks for sketching and creating interesting sketches. So let's start with tip number 1. This is the easiest way to sketch. Sketching basically means roughly outline the contours of a drawing. You can create a pose lightly and use it as a base for your final drawing. In this first sketch, I am just roughly sketching the character and I don't really use the eraser to fix the lines. I just leave it like this. This is called a rough sketch. This is a very fast way to get a sketch done. Tip number 2. For this tip, I'm going to sketch out the character. However, I will be adding more details to it and roughly shade some parts. This will make the sketch look more detailed and refined. I start out very light and build up the lines. You always want to work from light to dark. I also erase the parts I don't want to see in the drawing, such as the guidelines, while by rough sketching I don't erase the lines. However, for this sketch I wanted to have a more finished feeling. I also add a border around the drawing to create some contrast and make the drawing pop from the paper. Tip number 3. For this tip, I'm actually going to sketch with a simple ballpoint pen. You can actually make great sketches with ballpoint pens. You can lightly sketch out the contours with it. The only con is that you cannot erase it, so you cannot fix your mistakes. However, that is okay because you're sketching. Just be sure to start out light and not directly add a lot of color. Build up the lines with the ballpoint pen. You can also color your sketch with the ballpoint pen. It is a really great tool. I really like working with it, and sketching with this is actually really nice because it makes it a bit more challenging and it also gives your sketch a nice texture. Tip number 4. For this one, I'm going to show you that you can sketch with colored pencils. Did you know that animators and artists often use red and blue pencils for sketching? They do so because normal pencils can reflect light, while colored pencils are more matte. Another fact is that when you sketch with blue or red and you scan them in and edit them digitally, you can erase the blue and the red by making the drawing black and white. The blue or red will no longer be visible. This means that you can really build up your sketch in the blue or red color, while it will not show digitally. This is why you see a lot of professional artists use blue or red. It is an easy way to define the basic shapes without losing them. I actually bought these two new mechanical pencils in the colors light blue and pink. This is also the first time to try them out and I fell in love with them. They work really nice and feel very soft on the paper. I also tested out the pink one, which looked really good as well. Besides that, colored pencils are very useful when you need your line art or sketch digitally. It can also look very pleasing to the eye and also very interesting because you get to see the different drawing stages, such as the colored sketch and above that the darker sketch. I definitely will use these pencils more often because they really work nice. Tip number 5. So for this next tip, I'm just going to sketch my character, and we're also going to use some different materials for this one because you sometimes just really want to use some black in your drawings and a pencil isn't always doing what you want it to do. So I simply sketch out my character and add some darker parts here and there and erase the parts I don't want to see. And we're actually going to use a fine liner to touch up the drawing. And fun fact, I didn't really like her expression, so I'm changing it a lot. So for this next part, I'm using my fine liners to define the lines of the sketch. However, I'm leaving the sketch underneath because I think it's really important, especially in a sketchbook, to see the different stages of drawing. And I ended up giving her a smile because that suits her way better. And I also again add a darker, thicker border around the drawing because it just really gives the drawing some contrast. And after that I'm also coloring in some parts with the mechanical pencil and I'm smudging it a little bit with my finger to give it a softer look. Tip number 6. So for this final tip, I'm going to add some texture to the sketch. I simply sketch out this lovely lady again very lightly with a pencil. Here and there, I'm defining some lines by making them darker, erase some parts, and again, I make the outline darker than the rest of the sketch. And now we're going to use some more materials to give the drawing some texture. We're going to add a simple background with a marker in a color you like. In my case, a very nice light blue. I just draw a simple rectangle behind the sketch and you immediately see the effect of it. It gives the drawing more contrast. And to finish up the sketch, I'm also going to shade a bit with some markers. Markers and pencils look very nice together on paper, and you can also use this technique to try out the basic colors for your final drawing. So these were the 6 tips for creating interesting sketches. I really hope you liked the different tips I showed you and that you will find them helpful. Well, that's it for this video. I hope you liked it and I'll see you soon everyone. Bye bye!